At the same time, at this point, we're thinking, you know, everybody should pretty much have no issue with these dungeons, even with tier 2 right now. Like most people, you would assume they're above 4K combat power. But at the same time, I see very often people that kind of have that kind of mentality where they expect everybody to know that, and this creates the toxic environment. Like imagine for a new player that comes in, is he supposed to know everything and be 4K combat power? Of course not. But some people do expect that, and imagine the first time, like the new player experience when they go in a dungeon and somebody trash talks to them for them not having enough gear score or just not being good enough. It's really not a very good thing, you know. How would we expect new people to enjoy the game and actually keep the population up if we just have this kind of mentality where, you know, we just expect everybody to know everything? You know, obviously new players would just leave, you know. Generally speaking, I would have no issues if, let's say, we got 1 or 2 people that are like minimum gear, like just enough to cover the dungeon. And even if we carry them, I have no problem with that because we already super overpowered for these dungeons anyway. But some people fucking hate that. Like they just want this to end in like 5 minutes or something. You know what? I think they should pretty much remove the dungeon finder. It's gonna be so much more fun. You need to search people actively in the chat or something like that and actually go to the dungeon entrance. In Throne Liberty, there is no dungeon entrance, by the way. Like, you cannot find a physical entrance for these dungeons in the open world. So that should tell you how casual it's supposed to be. You're just going from lobby to another lobby and that's it. At the same time, you don't speak to anybody. Like, there is no chat activity. And honestly, a lot of people feel that way for, not just for this game, for many games. It doesn't feel like a multiplayer game. That's why they bugged the chat for a couple of times and you can't even use it. I mean, do we even use the chat anyway? Why do you need chat? People are angry about it, like you cannot use the chat, but people just use Discord these days. They just said, hey, might as well just remove the chat. You know, nobody's fucking using it anyway. They've got dungeon finders and shit like that. Who knows, maybe one day. This thing, I really don't want this to exist. The good old-fashioned way.